Welcome to my Rationale on Sonnet 18, Shall I Compare Fee to a Summer's Day? I started quite literally by having a summer's day as my opening shot. The frame is set up 50-50, and that's supposed to show a comparison since he compares his lover to a summer's day. On the one side, you have the tree, which is a metaphor for feet, and on the other side you have a summer's day, and together they make a really nice contrast or comparison. The next line in the poem is, "Thou art more lovely and more temperate." The picture in the film changes. It is more lovely because it has a unique composition, and it is more temperate because compared to the first shot, the time-lapse displays a milder climate. Moving on to the third line, the shot changes again. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. The paragliders in this time-lapse are a metaphor for the darling buds of May. Their movement and the cloud's movement signifies the rough winds that the paragliders have to control. We are at the fourth line, and this is quite unique because it is the first time that there is a continuous time-lapse with two lines in the poem. The first line is, "And summer's leaves have all too short a date." The second line is, "Sometime too hot the eye of the heaven shines." In the first line, Shakespeare is saying that summer disappears way too quickly before it has even started. Summer is represented by a flare. Just like summer, the flare disappears way too quickly and quite sudden in this time-lapse. I chose the same time-lapse for the next line because Shakespeare is saying that the eye of the heaven shines too hot sometimes. In this time-lapse, the sun is shining quite distinctively. That's why I kept the same time-lapse. We are now on the sixth line. "And often is his gold complexion dimmed." To represent this line, I chose a photograph I took in California the other day. The photograph fits particularly because it is dipped in gold. Thinking of what Shakespeare said before about summer ending way too quickly, and thinking of dimming the lights, I harshly cut the photo to the next shot, which was unexpected, and that refers to summer ending way too quickly. Moving on to one of my favorite lines from the poem. "And every fair from fair, some time declines." To me this means, from day to day, the day ends. And I quite literally chose to represent this by a sunset I took the other day. By chance, or nature's changing course untrimmed. In the next line, Shakespeare is fascinated by nature's changing course, by the sunset. And he is wondering whether it is happening by chance or whether it is happening naturally. Of course the answer is naturally. I chose to represent this line by a post-sunset. The clouds are still moving, representing the nature's changing course, but they are moving by chance, which shows nature's changing course. We have now reached the Volta or the turning point of Shakespeare's poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? The line is, "But fie, eternal summer shall not fade." Shakespeare is literally saying that if summer has reached its peak, it's beautiful 24/7. This includes the night. Therefore I chose to have a Milky Way time-lapse, so that is literally saying summer shall not fade. Summer is just like Shakespeare's beloved one. It won't lose its beauty, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Well, again, this is referring to the star time-lapse. "Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in a shade." Here, Shakespeare is saying the beauty of his love is eternal, and it won't die. Again, this is represented by a beautiful time-lapse of the night sky, which shows that the day, summer's day, is beautiful at night too, not just at day. Moving on to the next line, the line before the last rhyming couplet. When in eternal lines, to time thou growth. Shakespeare is saying, as the poem gets older, his loved one will become immortal. The eternal lines are representative of the poem, and the second part of the line represents thee, Shakespeare's love. Eternal lines are represented by star trios, which are seemingly endless and are therefore somewhat immortal. Moving on to the final rhyming couplet. So long as man can breathe, or eyes can see, so long as this, and this gives life to feed. As long as humans are alive, they conceive this poem, and therefore they can make memory of the person, of thee, and thee therefore becomes immortal. All of this is reflected by beautiful sunrise, which is a metaphor for thee's beauty because it's immortal. Sunrises will always occur. One would have to change nature's course, but nature's course cannot be untrimmed. The end. I hope you enjoyed my little rationale on Shakespeare's poem, Sonnet 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? Enjoy.